It truly amazes me how much bitterness people can harbor for the one candidate in the past 5 years, the one most important national politician to call for healthcare for all, free college education, just general human dignity. $15 minimum wage, he's created that. That's the standard in the Democratic Party because of Bernie Sanders. Because of Bernie Sanders. But the Hillary Clinton staffers are so deluded by their dear leader that they are convinced that he is the reason that she lost to Donald Trump. Not that she didn't go to Michigan, Wisconsin, the Rust Belt, not that she was one of the most disliked candidates in history, not that she had no message except I'm with her and no coherent vision for America, none of that. They are still so bitter that Bernie Sanders was uncompromising in his morals that they decided to host a Bye-Bye Bernard Zoom call, which was ultimately canceled because, that's a terrible idea, terrible optics. One who, you would think staffers who were on a campaign that was entirely run by smoke and mirrors and optics and empty promises would understand that perhaps you shouldn't do this kind of thing, but their hatred for Bernie Sanders overrode their PR sensibilities. Less than an hour after Bernie Sanders told supporters he was ending his presidential campaign, dozens of staffers who worked for his opponent 4 years ago received the same mass email, a link to a Zoom video call scheduled for 4 p.m., invitation Bye-Bye Bernard, HFA, Hillary for America, celebration toast. The email to former Hillary Clinton staffers read on early Wednesday afternoon, according to screenshots provided by two people. Good on the two people who gave those links to BuzzFeed. I want to shout out the reporter, Ruby Kramer. And I feel like perhaps they were right to call out that toxicity. He's finally gone again. Whoa, that's awesome. Party unity. Join for a celebratory toast if you can. And yes, you can loop. Later on Wednesday, the name of the Zoom call had been changed to a more generic HFA end of primary celebration toast. Don't worry, they can talk crap in private and say horrible, toxic things, but it was too much for them to actually put it in the invitation. With no mention of Sanders, by 3:30 p.m., according to recipients, the call was canceled. Maybe because they realized how awful that looked. Hi, the Democratic operatives who lived through the 2016 jokes somewhat bitterly about the primary that never ended, blah, blah, blah. And then the article goes on to talk about the continued bitterness between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Nobody likes him, Clinton herself said earlier this year in the documentary. Nobody wants to work with him. He got nothing done. He was a career politician. You know, you are still more disliked by people than Donald Trump, the racist, xenophobe, orange clown, buffoon, person who's completely unable to lead the nation, the current president of the United States who's overseeing a pandemic and an economic collapse unlike anything we've ever seen. You're still more unpopular than him. So I would love if perhaps you could spare us on lecturing who is liked and who is not. What you mean there is that nobody in Washington likes Bernie Sanders. And you know what? That's why people like him. That's why actual people like him. But it goes to show that Hillary Clinton, her staffers, they only care about the central power brokers and their opinions on politicians. And they see the plebeians, the people who actually support Bernie Sanders, they don't count. They don't count. Nobody who I care about likes him. So cheers. Cheers. No Medicare for all for the next 4 years. That's done. No Green New Deal. The planet's gonna burn. None of that. I'm so happy that you got to have a glass of Pinot Grigio and cheers to the fact that people won't have universal health care coverage and students will still be drowning in debt for the next foreseeable future, for a lot longer. Congratulations. You're literally those people drinking as the Titanic sinks. And you know what? Just because you're richer than the rest of everyone, just because you're more privileged, you'll still sink on that Titanic too.